Me and James, we just can't win alone. That's why basketball is played 5-on-5. So, we just need everybody to just, try to keep finding ways to get better. Been here for a long time. That's why it doesn't get to me. Sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone.
And actually, sometimes when you play less, you actually become more injury prone because your body's not accustomed to taking the wear and tear. There is a balance.
Joel Embiid's knee problems have cost the Sixers 11 games this season. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The real cost? A championship culture that's been eroded by one player's dominance. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. In this video, we're ripping off the band-aid and exposing the harsh truth about Embiid's impact on the NBA. You think you know the whole story? Trust me, you don't. By the end of this, you'll see the league in a whole new light. Picture this. The Sixers are dominating in the playoffs. The ball's zipping around the court, everyone's getting buckets, and their defense is suffocating opponents. But there's a twist. Joel Embiid isn't even playing. Crazy, right?
But my point is you can't be afraid of the injuries. Yes, he's injury prone, he's a big guy, whatever, but when you're trying to win a championship, the plan needs to be, we need to be dominant at home.
Just giving the ball has been, carrying us, every single 4 quarters since the season started. So we need to keep going and, keep being aggressive. A lot of shots, with the type of defense that we're playing. We just didn't make them, We made them at times and we didn't make them at times.
When Embiid's out, the Sixers transform. The offense kicks into overdrive. Guys are cutting, screens are flying, and the ball never stops moving. It's like watching a whole different team. And at the center of it all, Tyrese Maxey. He's not just playing well, he's looking like a full-blown superstar. Now, you're probably thinking, but what about the defense? Doesn't it fall apart without Embiid? That's the wild part. It doesn't. The Sixers are switching everything, flying around the court, and actually forcing more turnovers. It's like they've unlocked some secret defensive strategy that only works when their big man is out. But here's what's really blowing my mind: the chemistry. Without Embiid, these guys look like they're having the time of their lives. They're laughing, high-fiving, playing with this insane energy we never see when Embiid's on the court.
I've been through a lot. Sometimes I think I'm unlucky, but then again, I'm also extremely lucky at the same time.
He just signed for 3 years, $193 million. 3 years, $193 million to play basketball.
Gotta, come back and find ways to just keep improving and, help the team. You can't win alone.
It's like they've been let off the leash. Let's talk numbers for a second. When Embiid's not playing, the Sixers' offensive rating jumps to 115.6. That's a massive leap from 110.2 when he's on the floor. And get this, their defense barely takes a hit. It goes from 108.9 with Embiid to 107.5 without him. That's nuts. So who's stepping up as the new face of the franchise? Tyrese Maxey is going absolutely bonkers. He's dropping 30 points a night, dishing out 10 assists, and leading the team like he's been doing it for years. But it's not just Maxey. Paul George is turning back the clock, reminding everyone why he used to be considered one of the best two-way players in the game. He's putting up 25 points and 8 rebounds when Embiid's out. And you know what's really interesting? Opposing coaches are saying the Sixers are actually harder to game plan for without Embiid. One coach said, without Embiid, they move the ball better and create more open shots. It's a different challenge because you can't just focus on one player anymore. That's huge for playoff basketball where every possession counts. Alright, so the Sixers might be better without Embiid on the court. But get this, there's a $193 million reason why this situation is way more complicated than it looks. And it's got everyone from NBA insiders to the Sixers front office sweating bullets.
Still believe that, me and them, and, we got the chance to win, but, it's going to take, more than us. Obviously, we played them out. I didn't play that first game, so we felt like tonight we had to get them back, and, I'm glad everybody just showed up. I could have won at least one of those, if not two, but, going into this year, I just want to be the best version of, myself.
You're probably thinking, but Embiid's a superstar. How could they be better without him? Let's break it down. First off, the injury thing is no joke. Embiid's missed 11 games already this season. That's almost half the season. And it's not just this year, it's been like this his whole career. The Sixers are constantly playing the will he or won't he game when it comes to Embiid suiting up. But here's where it gets really juicy. Remember that team meeting that got leaked? Tyrese Maxey called out Embiid for always being late.
We're just worried about ourselves. When we are at our best, we can't beat anybody. It's going to be almost impossible to beat us.
But this is the plan. Again, we haven't seen him play since August 10th, gold medal game of the Olympics. And as it points out, he has not re-injured himself.
Good job of taking care of the ball the last couple of games, really the whole season. We haven't done that, so we got to do a better job.
That's not exactly what you want from your franchise player, right? It's like showing up late to your own birthday party. It just feels off, and it gets even crazier. NBA insiders are saying Embiid's professionalism has been questioned for years, both by the Sixers and around the league. We're talking about his weight, his conditioning, his attitude, the whole package. That's wild for a guy who just signed a $193 million extension. Speaking of money, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Sixers are paying Embiid and Paul George over $90 million combined this year. You know how many games they've played together? 6 minutes. That's it. It's like buying a Ferrari and keeping it in the garage. Now, imagine a world without Embiid. The Sixers are playing this fast, fluid style that's actually more fun to watch. They're not just dumping it into the post every play.
We created good shots. We made them early in the second, and then we just didn't make them. I thought, a lot of them were wide open. I still believe we got the chance to win. We got what it takes to win.
He does it every night so consistently. It's hard not to. But we expect it of him, and he knows that we expect of him. He goes out there and performs every single night.
It's like watching a different team, one that's actually built for modern basketball. And here's the kicker. They might actually be harder to game plan for in the playoffs without Embiid. Teams can't just focus on stopping one guy anymore. It's like trying to catch smoke. You never know where the next attack is coming from. So, are the Sixers really better off without Joel Embiid? It's a tough question, but one thing's for sure. This Embiid situation is way more complicated than just what happens on the court. It's about money, professionalism, and the future of the franchise. And right now, it's got everyone in Philly on edge. So here's the million-dollar question. Are the Sixers really better off without Joel Embiid? I mean, just look at what we've seen. The team's playing faster, the chemistry's through the roof, and their style might actually work better in the playoffs. That's crazy, right? Think about it. No more holding your breath every time Embiid hits the floor.
Or Drummond plays, but to come out and say it in advance was a stupidity by the Sixers, period.
And we know we got to do better, which we will. It is unacceptable, and something is going to be done about it.
But what's going to be the biggest problem going forward, when we have guys making $80, $90, $100 million not playing back-to-back games.
No more wondering if your star player's gonna show up on time. It's like the Sixers took off a heavy backpack they didn't even know they were wearing. But here's the real kicker. What if this is just the beginning? Maybe the process wasn't about Embiid at all. Maybe it was about building a team that could thrive without relying on one superstar. Imagine a Sixers team that's dangerous from all angles, not just the paint. That's the kind of team that could shake up the whole NBA. So what do you think? Is this the end of the Embiid era in Philly? Or are we watching the birth of something even bigger? One thing's for sure. The NBA's never gonna be the same after this.